Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new then hello, my name is Tarka. I make videos about college life in Taiwan and fitness and vlogs, and today I thought I would share some of my tips and experiences because as most of you probably know, I go to National Chengchi University in Taipei, Taiwan. This is gonna be my second year. I'm a master's degree student, and throughout my first year I had many ups and downs, challenges and good times, and I thought I would share some things that I wish I knew before coming to NCCU to help some of you that are either might be thinking about choosing this university or that might already know that they're gonna study here. So I hope this will be helpful for you guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. I will try to answer each and every one of them, and let's get into the video. So my first tip is that the campus map that you're going to get at orientation, or which you can pick up at OIC, which is the Office of International Cooperation on the 8th floor of the administration building, is going to be your new best friend. So the NCCU campus is quite big. It even has a downhill and an uphill campus. So it might be a little bit confusing at first when you're trying to find your classes or just any building you need for some reason. So having that little foldable map is really useful. It's really like this size. You can keep it in your bag and it will be a nice keepsake once you finish the university. Don't worry, you will get the hang of it and you will find your way around pretty soon, but I would say for the first 1 or 2 weeks it will be really useful to have that map with you. So secondly, iNCCU. This is the online platform that the school uses, and it will be really useful throughout the school year. So you can log in with your student ID number and your password, and I suggest once you get your login data, you should go and get familiar with the website because it's good if you know how to navigate it later. So there are some functions that will be more important than others, so I would like to highlight those. I will also put some screenshots for you guys on the screen so you know how each page looks like. So first of all, the main page of iNCCU, you can totally customize it, you can move the things around however you like it, but there's this spot in the middle that has lots of different buttons that's gonna be very useful. First, let's look at the library. You will use the libraries page a lot and it can be a little bit confusing at the beginning. We even had to ask one of our teachers to organize a session for us to teach us how to basically use the library, because NCC has multiple libraries and it can get quite confusing. So on the library's website you can either search the library's catalog, which will search all throughout the NCCU libraries, both like physical copies and online available versions. But what we also use a lot is the e-databases, where you can just look up databases and throughout those links you can log into the database with the access of the university. So even if you're not in campus, you can access the journals and articles that the university has already purchased. Then there are 2 platforms which the teachers usually use to distribute class materials. One of them is the e-learning website and the other one is Moodle. It really depends on the teacher, whichever he or she prefers. So just always ask where you can find the things that you're talking about and click on either of these buttons and you will surely find it. It's really easy to use actually. Then there is the campus web info portal. And unfortunately, this is one of the spots which is mostly only in Chinese. Like some of the parts you can turn to English, but mostly it's gonna be Chinese. So I suggest you, I don't know, Google Translate or ask a Taiwanese friend or classmate to help you. The parts that I mostly use are actually at the very bottom for the dormitory section, because if you live in the dorm and you get registered mail, then you have to check at that website if it's there already or not. They list it based on dorms, and then you can just look for your student ID number and see if you got the package already or not. If you got the package, you have to go to the main gate and pick it up right there. Next up is the student development info. For me, it is on the left side, and I usually use it for two things. One is if you get a dorm, then you can check your roommate there. You will only see their Chinese name and their student ID number. So even if you see a Chinese name, it might still be a foreign student. I recommend you check the admissions list, look for their Chinese name there. And apart from that, the second thing I usually use this page for is checking my grades, because the teachers have to upload our grades to the iNCCU system, and under, I think, academic performance, you can see all of your classes listed, and in the end of the semester, that's where your grades will appear. And last but not least on iNCCU is the NCCU mail. This is basically your university email address, and I suggest you check this one regularly as well, because the teachers like to communicate with us throughout these emails. So a lot of times we forget to check it, because obviously you just remember to check your normal emails, and it happened that sometimes we missed the notifications for some tests or cancelled classes. So even though you probably get a lot of spam, like a lot of random emails completely in Chinese, it's really always worth it to check it, go through it, and look for some English titles for some messages from your professors. The OIC messages will also appear here as well, but those ones they send you to your normal email too. So thirdly, the course selection. The course selection at NCCU happens online, and I will leave the link down in the description box below for you in case any of you might need it. There's this website where you can log in with your student ID and your password, and I suggest you set it to English, because once you logged in, you won't be able to set it back to English from Chinese. So basically here there are multiple options. Firstly, you can search for courses. This is pretty self-explanatory. You can search based on the title of the course, the professor. You can set if you want Chinese or English or other language, and you can even search for all the courses that each department offers on the BA, MA or PhD level. What can be a little bit more confusing is the course registration itself. So let's look at all the tabs they have here. First of all, you have the course list on the left-hand side, which is basically all the courses you already got into once the application is over. Then you have the waiting and course selection list. For the course selection list, you have all the courses you selected you actually want to get into. You can see the course number, the professor, and so on and so on. And then there is the tracking list, which is a little bit interesting. So basically when you search for courses, then there will be a button on the left hand side where you can place the courses on your tracking list. So I usually put all the courses that I'm even slightly interested in on my tracking list. Then I don't have to think too much about it. Then I go back to my tracking list and I see all these courses listed. I can look at their class schedule times, the professor, where the courses are located, and think about which ones I actually want to apply for. So you can put loads of them on the tracking list, but if you have something on there, it doesn't mean you actually applied. So you will have to move these courses from your tracking list to your course selection list. I hope it's not too confusing. Once you try to actually use the system, I swear it's gonna get a little bit easier. So, and there's also the dropping list, which is also kind of self-explanatory. Once you got into a course but you don't actually want to take it, you can just put it on your dropping list and drop it. So how does this course selection system actually work? First of all, there will be the first and second initial course selection periods. These are both going to be in August before the year and the classes start. At these times you can select and register the courses online. You can also drop them anytime when the system is open. And then at the end of each period you will see which courses you got into and which courses you got on the waiting list for. And then once the classes start, the first week we call shopping week, because on that week you can go to all the courses you got into, and even the classes that you're interested in, but maybe you're on the waiting list or the system didn't let you apply. because you will still have an opportunity to talk to the professor and try to convince them to let you take their class. So on the first week you can still add and drop courses online, but then on the second week you can only do that using a paper form and the signature of the professor. So if you went to the first week, you're still thinking about it, you're not sure which ones to take, and then you missed the deadline for online dropping and adding period, then you can still just talk to your professor, get their signature, and get this done. But once that second week is over, you will have no more chance to add or drop any courses, so be aware of that and get the signatures you need in time. So lastly, a little bit about the classes themselves. So for me there was quite a big difference between my bachelor studies and the master's here in Taiwan, because I studied international relations at ELTA in Budapest, and most of our classes were big lectures and we had exams, usually midterms and finals, that you had to study a lot for, but we didn't have so many things to do during the semester. We did have a few seminars though, with presentations and so on, but still it was not very hard. Well, at NCCU, at least at IMEX, because obviously I can only talk for my major, different majors in different fields might be totally, completely different, but for communication studies in masters, it's exactly the opposite. We only have seminars, so a relatively smaller class with maybe maximum 20-25 people, and we have a lot of assignments. So we always have lots of readings, lots of presentations and group works and papers to write. They might be smaller papers throughout the semester, and usually we have a final paper for the end. So it's quite hard and a lot of work during the semester, though at least for us, we usually do not have midterm and final exams, so that's really nice. Also for the readings, some teachers obviously are more strict regarding the readings, and you actually really have to read every single thing because they will ask you about it, though some other teachers are not that strict and you can get away with just like scanning through the papers they assigned. So this is it for this video, guys. I hope it will be helpful for you if you're applying to NCCU or if you're starting your next academic year here. If you have any more questions or any topics that you would like me to elaborate on, please just leave them in the comment section below. I will try to answer for everything. And also, if you're coming to NCCU, feel free to add me somewhere on social media and I would be happy to meet up with you guys. So yeah, that's it for today and I will see you in the next video. Bye!